Hi everybody, it's Leslie again. So I decided that today I was gonna make a side dish. We had the most amazing meatloaf last night, which I would love to share the recipe with you, but for now, I'm just gonna talk about what I'm gonna make for tonight's dinner, which is Chinese coleslaw, and I'm using this Chinese cabbage type stuff. I forget what the name of it is, but it's this, it has these little leaves that come off like that. And I'm using a cucumber. This is just the end of it. I just want to show you, I've already cut up quite a bit of stuff here. See this? I took the cucumber that I had and I kind of julienned it like this, see? And I took a scallion, of which I have many, but for this particular purposes, as you can see, these are really fat ones here. But I took these and I took two and I sliced them up. What I do is I cut them, cut off the roots, right? And then I slice it in half and then I chop mostly the pale green, the white green part here. And I go into a little bit like from here to here and then here to here. And then I kind of go up to about there. So that's where I do what I do with the scallions. Incidentally, this past week, I was up around the Scotch Plains area of New Jersey, which is about 25 minutes to Newark Airport approximately, straight in the middle of Jersey. And around there, I was going to an eye doctor's appointment, And so around that area, there's a wonderful Gigundo Asian market. And the stuff there is just like to drool for. In any case, that's where I bought the scallions. And I didn't buy the cabbage there, but I did buy the scallions. And I also bought, look at this, check this out. I'll be right back in 1 second. I bought these two guys, these two packages of mushrooms. Now these are fresh shiitake mushrooms. Can you see that? Look at the price of that. This is like, oh wait, it's upside down. Sorry. This is like $3.13 for 0.86 pounds. So that's like almost 80% of, I mean, it's, well, you know what it is. Anyway, I can never figure these things out mathematically in my brain. And I also bought oyster mushrooms, king oyster mushrooms. Look how amazing these look. I mean, these are just beautiful. So what I'm planning on doing with those actually is just having mushrooms with butter and putting it on some nice crusty bread and making a huge salad, I think for tomorrow night, and calling it a day for dinner. I mean, there can't be anything better than that, especially the shiitakes, when you make them in butter. Oh, God. Anyway, just slightly fattening, but not really bad. All right, I also, what's going into this salad is, so we have the Chinese cabbage, cucumbers, julienned, right? And I already bought the prepackaged julienne carrots because, ugh, that's such a pain in the neck. And I'm just gonna throw in, this is about, I would say this is about 3 cups of cabbage that has been sliced and shredded, rather. And so I'm gonna add in about, let's see, I'm looking at about, let's see, this much carrots, so it's falling all over the place. Putting it in, so you see there's that much. I could put a few more in. There's no exacting measurements here, so if you're one of those people that really needs to have measurements, let me know and I will kind of make it more precise for you. Anyway, so I put in, maybe I'll put in just a little bit more, another few sprigs here like this. Then I'm going to add, oh, I also sliced up some of Vidalia onion, very, very thin slices, okay? You gotta be really thin because you already have the scallion in there, so you just want a little bit extra. Then I'm gonna add, I'm looking for it here. Oh, yeah, either a yellow or an orange pepper, or for today, I'm gonna make a yellow pepper because this one is like been sitting on the counter and I kind of need to use it already, you know, see the wrinkles and all that kind of jazz. So I'm gonna go wash it off over here by my sink. And, oh, it's so beautiful today. It's really gorgeous. The reason why I'm doing this now is because I have an appointment like at 4:45, which means that I won't be eating until like 6:30. So I don't feel like coming home and then starting to eat. Ugh, God, you know, really. Just drying my hands. Now, this is the way you cut pepper, especially if you're going to julienne it. I'm going to cut off these blemishes because I'm not going to use those. So I'm just going to kind of slice it. Can you see this? Can somebody comment to me and tell me that you can see what I'm doing here? I'm hoping. I'll wave to you guys. Hi, Kareem. Hi, David. Hi, Cheryl. And who else? Paula. Hello. Hi, Kathy. Okay, so just let me know. I'm waving to you guys each individually. Been a while, Kareem. Okay, so I'm cutting off this part right here. And incidentally, I'm going to say this again. If you don't have a sharp knife, go and sharpen it or use one that's sharp, because this is a perfect example of when you get cut using a dull knife. Because what happens is you end up cutting, but instead of the knife going through, right, going through like this, it goes along the edge and slips and goes right into your finger. So really bad to do that without a sharp knife. Okay, so here I am. I'm going to julienne this. Now, when you're cutting, you have to be like a bear claw here. And you put your fingers in so that your knuckles are what's hitting, see this? Are hitting the side of the knife, not going like this. So your fingernails or fingers tips are there to easily be lopped off. Okay, so here we go. I'm just cutting some strips, julienne, kind of on the thin side. See, sort of thin. It's not really big deal because you're putting it in a salad. You don't want to have to like chomp down a big chunk of pepper, although these peppers are delicious tasting. They're very sweet. And I'm going to kind of cut into the half of this like this so that it's easier to get the seeds out. There's a couple ways to cut peppers. One of them is that to automatic, but there were blemishes on this one, so I had to cut off that part. But all the same, you can take a pepper and cut it in half like this, and when you open it up, I'm going to do it this way. When you open it up, you see the seeds are on this side and on this side, right? So all you do is you take the seeds, you take your fingers, and you just take out that little part right there. I have like a dump tray that I use. You know those plastic trays that the meats come in? I just wash it, I put it in the dishwasher, wash it all up, and it becomes my dump tray. It's so much better when you have that, so you don't make a mess. And I know I've said this before, but my dad used to say to me when cooking, he was like the master of French toast. Really, he was the master of French toast. That and grilling steak, he was just, ugh, I miss that about him. Okay, so I'm going to continue my way. And also I cut off the curved part, and I just kind of like do that. Actually, I'm going to change my mind, and instead of julienne strips, I'm going to cut it into little small diced pieces so that it kind of looks a little bit like this. Can you see that? All right, good. Hi, Celeste. Here we go. Some more. I'm not going to use the whole pepper. I don't think that's, you don't need to really. If you like cilantro, you can put cilantro in. I don't particularly. I think there's two groups of people. I think those that like cilantro and those that hate cilantro. I am in the category of hating cilantro simply because I feel that it tastes like soap. I don't know. Does anybody else have that sensation? Hi, Eric. How you doing there, buddy? This is my cousin just joined us. He lives in Florida. We know what that means. I hope you're safe and everybody's doing well. Hi, Ashley. Are y'all... Somebody please comment that you're catching all of this and that I have all the stuff in the frame. I'm just going to move my bowl over a little bit so you can see what's going on in there. I'm adding the yellow pepper. Doesn't that look pretty? Okay, so I'm going to continue my chopping. I still don't know whether you guys can see the whole thing that I'm doing here. This is really not that hard at all to make this. I don't particularly have a recipe for an Asian salad dressing. I just kind of know. I once went out with this Asian guy who lived in Jersey. We were together for 4 years. And his parents were from China. They were like of the old country. And believe me, they were like traditional. They had an apartment in Chinatown. So like every weekend we would go to Chinatown. So that's, by the way, that's the other half of this guy, right? And here it is. See that? Isn't that beautiful? So what I have in there so far are carrots, cucumber, yellow or red pepper would be good, and the cabbage, of course. I would say like 1/4 of an onion for this size amount. You can see the bowl is kind of large, but then again, it's going to be like part of the dinner tonight. And sliced scallions and onions and the cabbage. So I think we're going to leave it there. But like I said, you could add to this. Oh, God, so many things. In fact, I think I have some sugar snap peas. Those would be great in here. I mean, really great. And I also have some jicama, so I think I'm going to throw that in there as well. I buy the jicama from Trader Joe's, and it's already cut for me, so I don't have to go through that rigmarole of cutting off the outside of the skin of the jicama, which is like, okay. I'm right here. I'm just going into my refrigerator, and I'm going to get out the jicama. And what did I say? I forgot what I said already. Somebody remind me. Oh, sugar snap peas, which are right here. I didn't grow any in my garden this year, so I have to use the store-bought ones. But here are the jicama, and you know, if you get it pre-sliced like this, pre-cut like this, you have to use it really fast because it just gets bad fast, really fast. I'm using, see how it is right there? I'm just gonna rinse this off a little bit, but what ends up happening with jicama is that it gets really gooey and sticky and slimy on the outside if you don't use it right away. Likewise with, not so much with the actual whole jicama and you slice it up because you can slice it as you go, but if you have it pre-sliced like this, you can bet your bippies that you have to eat it fast. So last night we had this jicama salad that was with lime, honey, and olive oil, salt, pepper, and if you like it spicy, throw in a little pinch of cayenne and red pepper flakes if you like, cilantro, but I don't like cilantro, and mix it all up, let it marinate and marry itself into the flavors, and you have an amazing salad. I mean, it was amazing. So I'm just going to rinse these off, and I'm going to do the same thing, except this time instead of, because they're already pre-cut into these bars, I'm just going to chop them up so that they're kind of like a large dice. So you have these cubes. Can you all see that? Cubes, right? Hey, Alex. Alex is my buddy from elementary school. Ah, we're old friends, right? I'm going to throw this in. It's getting kind of full. See that? Look how full it's getting. I'm going to do another couple of pieces. And then I'm going to cut up my sugar snap peas. Fortunately, this is all I have to do tonight today because I just waved at you, Alex. Can somebody please comment and let me know that you're getting all this? I see that you're watching. Almost done. Oh, and incidentally, when you're taking the stuff off your cutting board, don't ever use the sharp end, this part. Use the dull side, all right? Because it will dull your knife if you do that. And be very, very careful when you're doing this because you could really, really cut yourself. So I shouldn't be showing you this, but I'm doing that anyway. Many of you know that I used, and I had a gourmet takeout business from my home. It was great because I had this gigantic kitchen. And now I'm like really, I have this really small kitchen. It's not really small, actually. I shouldn't be complaining because there's a lot of counter space, but it still is. I'm using. I buy the sugar snap peas from Walmart. I find them to be the most delicious of anywhere, and I could buy them fresh, but I find that these are less expensive, and you know, money is money these days. Money is always money, but these days it's a little bit more scarce. So when you're using sugar snap peas, it's very fibrous. So what you have to do is, you see there's one end and it has this little, see that little kind of tail there? That has to come off. And what I do, I just use my fingers, my nails. I just clip into that like that. And I sometimes, if you get it right, which I didn't do just now, it looks like this one is not as stringy as some of the others have been. In fact, this one's not stringy at all. Let's see if I can find one that is, so I can give, I'm very lucky. None of them are stringy. But if you cut it, let's say you snap it in half. Wow, not even coming up with a fiber. Along this seam right here is where usually you have, these are like not doing what I want. Oh, see, there we go. See that? That comes off. You want to take that off because if you're eating it and you get that stringy thing in there, it's really not very edible. It kind of gets caught in things and you can't really chew it. So it's really not the best thing to do. All right, I'm just going to clean up. Oh, this one even still has the little stem on it all together. And, oh, thought I had one there. I just go to both sides. Did you see that? I cut that off. And I'm lining them up on my cutting board. This one doesn't have it. What can I say? I guess I got a good batch. A good bag of snap peas. I love snap peas. Anybody else out there like snap peas? Oh, see that? See that? You don't want to eat that, right? Disgusting. Hey, Ashley. How you doing today? Almost done. And here we go. Okay, so the way I cut snap peas is I kind of line them up. This is the rule of thumb for cutting in general. You want to line your veggies up so you can just cut them as you're going along. So like if I have these all lined up on my cutting board, kind of like that, then you could just cut across them. Oh, all right, so here we go. It's fast. Oh, I forgot to get this one. You could also snap them in half or snap them into pieces. I just cut them because sometimes it's just easier to, oh my God, these are so sweet. So I'm throwing those in. You could put snow pea pods in this. I mean, you can get creative, you know. There's a lot of things you can add to this. I wouldn't put bamboo shoots in. Celeste, what do you think? Bamboo shoots? Yes, no? I think we're ready to give it a little stir. Actually, we're ready to make our salad dressing. So I'm done with this sugar snap peas. Everything's in there. Has to be mixed, of course. And I'm going to get a little container that oh, this is good. I have a little glass here. I'm going to put in this glass. Let me get this away. Some olive oil. You could use vegetable oil, but I find that to be very unhealthy. And olive oil is much better. Here's my olive oil. Some olive oil. I would say like maybe, for this amount, I would say about a tablespoon and a half, maybe. And then I'm going to go and get some brown rice vinegar. Well, or rice vinegar. And if you don't have any rice vinegar, you can always use like a white balsamic or, but this is organic brown rice vinegar. It has kind of a little bit of a different taste to it, but it's nice. I like it. The trick to oil and vinegar is you see the oil and vinegar separated. You want it to kind of be 50-50 in there. I'll hold this up so you can see. Can you see that? It's like half oil, half vinegar, and a little bit more vinegar than oil. Otherwise, it's going to be tasting very oily. So I'm going to add another drop. And then I'm going to add some onion powder. I'm not adding salt because I'm going to add a little bit of sesame oil that has a little salt in it, and a drop of soy sauce. A little bit of that. I'm looking for my white pepper. A touch of white pepper. And I just put this in very sparingly because I'm not a big pepper fan, but I like the taste of pepper. I like a little teeny tiny taste of pepper. Like I said, you could put in red pepper flakes and give it a zing. And I'm not sure if I'm going to put garlic in. I can always add that later. Here's my garlic. But I am going to add a drop of soy sauce, and I use the low sodium always. I never use anything but low sodium. I know everybody, a lot of people out there are kind of watching their sodium intake. So I'm going to throw just a couple of drops of this in there. And then I'm going to add, where'd it go? My sesame oil. Sesame oil is one of those things that you use sparingly because it's really robust in flavor. And the thing about sesame oil is that it's not meant to be used as an oil to cook in. Like, you're not going to put it in like olive oil